10 wild animals in Ukraine. Ukraine is a European country located in the eastern part of the continent, north of the Black Sea. It is one of the largest and poorest countries in Europe, seriously suffers from widespread corruption, and used to be part of the Soviet Union, from which it claimed its independence in 1991 year. An interesting part of the country that I wanted to tackle is its wildlife. In light of that, I have listed the best of it, and I hope you will love learning what animals live in Ukraine. On place 10, Eurasian brown bear. The Eurasian brown bear, also known as the European brown bear, the common brown bear, or the common bear, is one of the most widespread and common subspecies of the brown bear, as it can be found pretty much throughout all of Eurasia. In Ukraine, there are about 200 Eurasian brown bears, and there are globally tens of thousands of specimens. These 200 bears are part of two distinct subpopulations, the Carpathian and the Balkan bears, with a total of respectively 5,000 and 3,000 individuals. On place 9, Rad Deer. The Rad Deer, also known as the European roe, the Western Rad Deer, or simply the roe, is a species of deer native to almost the entirety of Europe. It has a gray-brown and reddish coat and is adapted to temperate, cold environments. Interestingly enough, there are roe deers in the Red Forest, near Chernobyl in Ukraine. Besides, some specimens in the country are either Siberian roe deers or hybrids with this species. On place 8, black grouse. The black grouse, also known as the black cock, the Eurasian black grouse, the black game, or the northern black grouse, is a large species of game bird native to Central, Northern, and Eastern Europe, as well as Central Asia. It inhabits the steppes and moorlands of Ukraine and usually stays near wooded habitats. This bird has a very large global population of 15 to 40 million individuals, and although they are on the decline, they are not considered threatened at all. On place 7, Steppole cat. The Steppole cat, also known as the masked polecat or the white polecat, is a species of mustelid native to Central and Eastern Europe, and as far as Central Asia and a large part of China. Thanks to its wide distribution, large numbers, occurrence in protected areas, and tolerance to habitat alteration, it is listed as least concern. When it comes to feeding, the Steppole cat hunts for ground squirrels, as well as marmots and pikas. On place 6, gray wolf. The gray wolf is a large species of canine found throughout the northern hemisphere. It has had one of the longest histories of interaction with humans, sometimes despised and sometimes feared. In Ukraine and in Europe, the gray wolf has always been part of local folklore and tales. Although fairly widespread and common in the continent, it is globally on the decline. Notably, there have been several non-rabid wolf attacks on humans in the winter in Ukraine, which is very unusual. On place 5, red fox. The red fox is one of the most widespread species of carnivores in the world, being found across much of the northern hemisphere. It is also highly successful as a species, thanks to its very high adaptability in terms of dietary habits and habitat. Just like in the rest of Europe, the red fox is very common and widespread in Ukraine. It primarily feeds on small rodents but also hunts for game birds, invertebrates, and reptiles. On place 4, Little Igrit. The little egret is a small species of heron native to much of Europe, sub-Saharan Africa, southern Asia, and Oceania. It is a migratory bird, breeding in Europe and living in southern areas of the globe. This bird is pretty sociable, and lives in small flocks, although some individuals remain solitary, which largely depends on the availability of prey. It can mainly be found around the Sea of Azov in Ukraine. On place 3, European bison. The European bison, also known as the European buffalo, the wisent, is one of 2 species of bison, much less famous than its North American counterpart. However, it similarly suffered from overhunting, and almost became extinct at the turn of the 20th century. Currently, there are ongoing conservation efforts, aiming at preserving the European bison, and reintroducing it into its former range, including Ukraine. On place 2, white stork. The white stork is a large species of bird of the stork family. It is characterized by its distinctive black and white plumage as well as its bright red legs. It is a migratory bird, breeding in much of Europe, northwestern Africa, western Asia, and the Middle East, and spending the winter in sub-Saharan Africa, the Arabian Peninsula, and the Indian subcontinent. In Ukraine, you will find white storks in the northwestern and southwestern parts of the country. On place 1, European shag. The European shag, also known as the common shag or simply the shag, is a large species of cormorant native to western and southern Europe, as well as southwestern Asia and northern Africa. This bird lives on the coastline of Ukraine, and it feeds on fish, which is why it suffers a lot from the competition with fisheries. Its scientific name commemorates the Greek philosopher Aristotle.